So we're gonna start off today with a review of Oblivion. We're gonna start off with the review, we're gonna get the Platinum Trophy, and then we're gonna talk about the Platinum Trophy journey for me, okay? So, let's kick things off. So, I haven't exactly finished it yet, but I am on the last mission. We're gonna do the last mission together because that's where we get the Platinum Trophy, but this is a childhood game of mine. I know how it ends, I know how the entire thing goes, right? I don't anticipate any big surprises at the end where all of a sudden the ending like suddenly shifts and everything's different. I don't anticipate that, right? But I think I've seen enough of the remaster to like kind of give my 2 cents about it. In fact, how many hours do I have on this bad boy? Let me see. I have 93 hours already on it. This game came out last week. My word, Monty. This game came out last week and I already have 93 hours on it. So I think I've seen enough. I've seen all that I needed to see, and I have some thoughts. So let's kick things off. Here are the best parts of the remaster, not the game itself, but just the remaster. I have a separate slide for the game itself. I think this is a gorgeous remaster, right? I think this is the blueprint for what a remaster should be. It is porting the old game to a newer console, right? It's spiffying up the graphics, right? It's doing this little bug fixes here and there, and to me, perfect, right? It takes all of the criticisms that people had of the first game, right, of the old game, and then, like, you know, just fixes it up a little bit, gussies it up a little bit, and I feel like it did that. Because at the very core of it is still the game, right? This is my last point on this part, is it's still the old game, just with some new polish, right? It still has the, like, funny line flubs here and there. It has the silly dialogue here and there, right? At the very core, it has the wacky character creation, right? The soul of this game remains intact. It's just prettier. The outside is just prettier. And to me, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I get to see Tamriel in a new light, and it fulfills such a deep part of my core. I loved it. I loved my time with it. So I wanted to highlight especially the graphics. The graphics are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, right? The lighting, the scenery, the water, it's just fantastic what they've done with the graphics. So I loved it. I personally really loved playing this. Best part of Oblivion itself. Now this is me kind of trying to sell Oblivion to you, right? Oblivion, I was saying this yesterday during Bloodborne. Oblivion has some of my favorite side quests of any game I've ever played. It is so thorough and so interesting. It's not just go here and fetch this or go here and clear this dungeon. There are so many, like, varieties, right? So much character in the side quests. I'm not talking about the factions, right? But that's also a big part of it. The factions have their own side quests that are like super interesting, right? In fact, I would dare say even more interesting than the ones in Skyrim. But the side quests themselves are like you're talking to a random person in the middle of Bravil, and they bring up, oh, by the way, I need you to go into the dream world and save my friend. Okay, that's really cool. You go to the Daedric shrines, and they're like, I need you to pull this epic prank on this entire town, and I need you to do these things. Okay, that's super cool. I loved that part of this game, and to me, seeing stuff like that, absolutely fantastic. The faction quests, I think the faction quest lines are also really interesting. I loved following the Dark Brotherhood, I loved following the Thieves Guild, and the other thing is, this is a small little thing that I really like. I like the fact that not all of the quests have the quest markers on them, right? Where it's like, oh, it's super easy to know what you're supposed to do next. Sometimes you have to like time it right, and you have to, wait a certain time to be there and like hunt them at a certain time. It's really interesting, and you have to like, watch outside their house, make sure that they're not inside. I don't know, I liked it. I liked how in-depth the faction quest lines are. Very, very cool. I think there's a lot of healthy story choices as well. So, it's a 2005 game. It's a 2 decades long game, right? And so you don't exactly have the same kind of like story drive as a Detroit Become Human or a Baldur's Gate, right? But I think for its time, it works. It works. You can form your own character and you can make them a deep, dark assassin of the Dark Brotherhood, or make them a, holy knight paladin, right? You can choose one or the other, or you can choose both, and you can make it make sense into your own brain. And that's what I really like. Tons of classes and play styles, right? Lots of different ways, whether you're a magic user or a, heavy armored tank, lots of ways to play this game. I think the main storyline in this one is also really, really interesting. I am Patrick Stewart at the very beginning and Sean Bean throughout the middle. Love, love, love. It's a great, great story. It is a fascinating look into the ethereal part, the celestial part of Elder Scrolls lore. And it's just interesting. It's just very interesting. And I think, personally, The Shivering Isles is one of my favorite DLCs of all time. And I'm glad that they included it into this remaster. It is packed with so much content, so much side content, so much side content, so many things for you to explore. The main story is interesting, the reward is fantastic, and it's just really, really fun. You have so much fun playing the Shivering Isles DLC, so I really, really recommend heading over to that strange door in the Nibbin Bay and just checking that out. Alright, that all being said about the remaster and the game itself, let me tell you about some things that are not so great. In its current state of the remaster, right, so going back to talking about the remaster, it's kind of buggy. It's kind of buggy. For me, Oblivion has never been like a perfect game when it comes to running perfectly, but this game in particular, the remaster in particular, does crash quite a bit. It does crash quite a bit, and that's the part that did deeply annoy me. The original also crashed quite a bit, but this one is like, wow, I feel like I moved 2 steps and then the game crashes. And I figured out what it was. It was because I put my game to quality mode, and that really, I don't know, it just makes my game crash a lot. And that sucks. If this is a mode in your game, it shouldn't crash this much. I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And so I put it back to performance mode, and that seems to have fixed it, although it does still crash every once in a while. Just as a warning, quality mode does not work very well. There's a difficulty spike between Adept and Expert that is just bananas, right? Adept feels like, a really nice medium mode. Apprentice and Novice are so easy, it's almost a joke. It's a one hit on every single enemy. It's kind of bananas. There's not really much of a difference there. And then past Adept, when you get to Expert, it's like weirdly hard. It's like so hard that like you're just struggling at times, right? Where like you do like ant bites on goblins. It's just weird. It's just weird. And so there's just a weird like balancing issue there. I had a lot of trouble working the enchantment system in this game. I don't know if I was just not getting something, but like I was having such a hard time. I was like, okay, grab the soul gem, grab the item that I'm gonna enchant, this is the, enchantment that I want to add to it. And the game menu thing would just freeze. And it would just not let me enchant anything. And I was like, what's going on? So enchantment doesn't really like super duper work for me in this game. But I think the biggest one, and this is a problem also in the original, but I didn't remember it as badly as this. The followers in this game are so abysmal. They're so horrid. They have such low health, and they love to run into your line of fire. At some point, I had like 2 or 3 followers following me, right? I had the mage, I had the assassin, and I had the paladin, and they were all following me. And I felt like I was spending most of my time just avoiding them as I fought enemies. I felt like most of my combat time was spent like dodging and weaving them so I don't accidentally kill them, than like beating the enemies. Does that make sense? I don't know. The follower system, I think, is just kind of bananas. It's just kind of bananas, and I wish that either that it was harder for them to lose health and it was harder for you to kill them. And the other thing is, if you kill them, you also get a penalty with the guild that they're from, and it's like, it just sucks. It sucks. The follower system in this game sucks. But going back to Oblivion itself, I think that as much as I love the faction quests, I believe that post faction quest, right? So after you finish the story for each of the factions, for the Dark Brotherhood, for the Fighters Guild, for the Mages Guild, I find it quite lacking. I find that maybe like 2 or 3 people in each of those guilds will acknowledge that you've reached the highest points of their guild, but everyone else will like go back to being regular generic NPCs. No one will acknowledge that you're an archmage, right? Maybe like 1 or 2 people acknowledge you're the listener of the Dark Brotherhood. 2 people, I think, recognize you as the guild master of the Fighters Guild. I don't think anybody recognizes you as the leader of the Thieves Guild. It's kind of bananas how that works. And when you finish them, it almost feels like everyone just forgets you. Everyone forgets you, and a lot of them don't really matter after you finish them, right? Like, there's not really like a whole lot for you to do after you finish the arcane university stuff. I don't know, and I kind of just, it takes me out of it, and I wish that I could just live in that world for a little bit, right? That's one thing that I think Skyrim does right, is that, like, you know, the quests after the main story may not be super duper interesting, but it at least allowed you to continue living in the world. This one is like a cliff that just drops you off. There's nothing left. There's nothing after you finish them. And it's like, oh, well, I'm the Archmage, but nobody in Tamriel cares. Nobody cares. And it's like, what did I do all that for? So I listed some here that you can look at. And so, yeah, that's what one of the things that kind of bummed me out on the RPG side. And then talking about the gates, the dungeons, and the caves, I will say it's kind of repetitive. It's repetitive, you get lost a lot, you really need clairvoyance, which doesn't work all the time. And that's kind of annoying. It was kind of annoying to like having to traverse a whole bunch of things, especially the quest where you had to like close a bunch of Oblivion gates. I was like, oh. I was like really leaning on that high acrobatic skill that I had to just like jump from like around a gate instead of having to like go through the stupid dungeon. It was just annoying. So it can get repetitive and you kind of just have to like grind through it. So yeah, those are my major like criticisms and compliments to this game. So let's get back into some positive things. My favorite faction is the Shivering Isles one. If you don't consider this a faction, that's fine. If you want to say this is my favorite side content storyline, okay, this is my favorite side content storyline. If that doesn't count, my favorite faction is the Dark Brotherhood, chock full of some of my favorite, most interesting side quests. The mansion side quest is super interesting. The twist at the end is super interesting. I love the Dark Brotherhood quest. This is one of my favorite quest lines throughout the Elder Scrolls series. It's just so fantastic, so interesting. Favorite Daedra quest is the Sheogorath one. I'm a Sheogorath girly, super fun. This is the where he has you go to border cross, and it's just interesting. It's an interesting quest. So all in all, final thoughts on Oblivion is, as a nostalgia player, right? This is not my first time playing this game. As a nostalgia player, I loved coming back in here. I loved getting to experience it with better graphics, with a smoother system. I liked it. I liked my time with it, and otherwise I would not have spent 90 hours already in the first week playing this game. I truly enjoyed my time. I think that it could be tweaked a little more to make the experience smoother, but otherwise, I think if you're just picking this up for the first time, you'll have a great time. If you're a Skyrim player who's trying Oblivion for the first time, you'll have a great time with it. You'll get to see where things began. A friend of mine was saying that like Oblivion has so many memes about it. If you were part of the Skyrim community, like back in the like early 2010s, late 2010s, right? There's so many like allusions to Oblivion that like you're gonna feel included into the community once you play it. So I definitely recommend checking this out. So here's my rating of it. Story, 6 out of 10. That drop off at the end is so abysmal that it really just struck a nerve in me. Now it struck. I don't think it really hit me when I was younger. I was maybe like 10 or 11 back then. Is that right? Yeah, around that. But now it's, I don't know. There's just like this almost sense of abandonment afterwards. So I don't know. The story itself is really cool, but the drop off, the reward at the end, sometimes it doesn't feel very worth it. Gameplay, 8 out of 10. I had a great time. Like I said, lots of play styles, lots of different ways to play this. I have 4 playthroughs right now, and I'm enjoying each and every one. Ambiance, 8 out of 10. Beautiful graphics, beautiful sound, wonderful music, just takes me back. Wonderful, wonderful. And the lore is absolutely detailed, and you can spend hours. You can go into a huge rabbit hole, just learning all about the Aedra and the Daedra and the emperors and all that stuff. Very interesting stuff. So I definitely recommend that, by the way. Fantastic lore. And so my personal enjoyment, again, I'm a nostalgia player, is 9 out of 10. I enjoy it. I loved walking around Cyrodiil and getting to see all these places that I knew from way back when in a new light. Super fun, super duper fun. And so my final rating is an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10. It is something that I recommend you check out, especially if you're a big fan of RPGs. If you're a fan of Skyrim, please check this out. Okay, so we shall return to this PowerPoint after we get the Platinum Trophy. And so this is our Joshi Washi. He is just a fire mage, right? Fire mage. And he's been running around. I've done all of the faction stuff with him, right? So I think I can show it to you here. Yeah. So he is finished the Dark Brotherhood quest line, the Fighters Guild quest line, Thieves Guild quest line, Mages Guild quest line, Arena Grand Champion, which we did together. I did the Knights of the Nine stuff already. I think I've done that like in total maybe twice in my entire time playing this game, right? So it's interesting. It's interesting. I think it's very punishing armor to get, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. And I have gotten us. Oh, and also I am the Mad God of the Court of Madness as well. So I finished the Shivering Isles quest line as well. This is the outfit that he has on. So that's the Knight of the Nine greaves and boots and the gloves. And actually, before we get into the story stuff, there is a funny glitch that I did see. I thought it was so wild. So let me pop over here to Bruma's North Gate. So once you get to the part in the main story where you defend Bruma, you get a statue. You get a statue in Bruma of your character, and it's so funny because when I pop over here and I take a look at it, oh, number one, my statue doesn't have hair. My statue doesn't have hair, and it doesn't have pants. It doesn't. They just didn't carve me with pants. They gave me the shirt. I'm literally Donald Ducking this Bruma statue, because I don't think it registered the Knights of the Nine greaves and boots, and so no pants, no boots, no gloves. And I believe that is not the knife that I had. I believe I was rocking my Sword of the Crusader. So I don't know what happened here. But womp womp. There he is. Sean Bean, everybody. Sean Bean. Hey, babe. So Martin has the Amulet of Kings. We've defeated Mankar Cameron, and now he will arise to Emperor.
Of Martin's claim to the Imperial throne in detail.
Chancellor O'Connor, the city is under attack. Oblivion gates have opened, and Daedra are inside the walls. The guard is overwhelmed.
Courage, soldier. We have an emperor again. Your Highness, what are your orders? Shall the guard fall back to the palace?
No. If we let ourselves get besieged in the palace, we're doomed. We must get to the Temple of the One immediately.
As you command, sire.
That's Boromir, chat. That's Boromir.
To the Temple of the One.
One of the things that I do love as well is I love the relationship between Martin and what do you call it? Oh god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. My word. Oh, hello. Will you let me get past here? We're just gonna walk past the gigantic demon man. Okay, if that's okay with you guys.
Farewell. You've been a good friend in the short time that I've known you. But now I must go. The dragon waits.
Oh man, dude. Oh, they animated this so well. Yeah, he didn't do all this on the PS2, chat. He did not do all of this in the PS2. God, Mehrunes Dagon looks so good. Oh, wow.
The amulet is shattered. Dagon is defeated. With the dragon's blood and the amulet of kings, we have sealed the gates of Oblivion forever. The last of the Septims passes now into history. I go gladly, for I know my sacrifice is not in vain.
Let's go!
And my father's fathers. The third age has ended, and a new age dawns. When the next Elder Scroll is written, you shall be its scribe. The shape of the future, the fate of the Empire.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now belong to you.
Thank you, Sean Bean. Martin shattered the amulet of kings and transformed himself into an avatar of Akatosh, the dragon god of time. Great. Wow. But one of the cool things is, and I didn't clock this when I was younger, but I love this conversation. The fact that we are not the protagonist of this story, right? We're not the protagonist of this story. Martin is. Martin is the protagonist of this story. He is the main character of the story, and we're just his best friend who's just really good at helping him out. We're just really good at helping him out. And so that's one of the fabulous things about this. Let's take a look at this platinum trophy, you guys. Let's take a look at this platinum trophy. We're one platinum trophy richer now. Look at this. Look at that. Worldly God. 51 out of 51 earned. This is the latest one that we got. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. All right, everybody. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about my platinum trophy journey, okay? And I'll tell you how hard getting this was, and I'll give you all some tips and tricks so that you can get it yourself if you have this game. Okay? Ready? It's gonna be a long one. Are you ready? Platinum trophy! How difficult was this? 1 out of 10. One of the easiest platinum trophies that I have ever gotten, my dear chat. One of the easiest platinum trophies I have ever gotten. And here's my tip. Literally just play the game. All of the trophies of this game are tied to just the missions. There's no fight off 10 different enemies with this kind of weapon. You don't have any of that. You don't have any of that. You don't have like, find 150 locations. You don't have any of that. All of it is literally tied to just doing the faction quests and the main story. Yup. And you can get all of it, with the exception of one, I think. You can get all of it in one playthrough. You can get the Platinum Trophy in one playthrough, but you can get all of the trophies, including the Shivering Isles one, in probably 2. But just to get the Platinum Trophy, you can get it in one playthrough. It is that simple. It is that simple. So here are the other Platinum Trophies that we've gotten here on stream. Here are the other 7, right? Elden Ring, 16, Astrobot, 7 Remake, Village, 15, Detroit. This is how I ranked, like how pleasant it was to get them. Here's where I put Oblivion at number 6. At number 6. It's simple enough. It's very simple. It's so simple to the point that I kind of wish that there was more to it. I kind of wish that there was like some Skyrim level trophies where it's like, pick 150 locks, you know what I mean? I kind of wish there was a little element of that it wasn't just the main missions, but whatever, who am I to complain? Who am I to complain that now I have one more Platinum Trophy on our belt? Who am I to complain? So, there we have it, my dear chat. There we have it. Thus ends Oblivion for us here at Mont Games.